Welcome traders. In this video I want to go over a new BloodHound template that I've been creating, and basically this builds on the VIX video that I put out last week. And basically what we're looking at is we're looking at a combination of signals for BloodHound, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to take this only in areas that make sense to take it. In other words, where we have valid trading patterns or we're trading up against resistance and the KP2 ratio down here is reacting normally. So here's a trade from back here from our counter trend support area. And what we'd be looking for out of the trade, we'd initially be looking to get in the trade when it transitions from red to white, because that is the white area is now where there's a disagreement upon the signals in BloodHound, and we actually have one of our signals giving us a buy signal here, but because they're not both giving us a buy signal, we have this white area. And I'm basically finding that the white area is a good area to make our trade. And then when it's confirmed as price continues to trade, it's either confirmed as it was here and we got a really good trade out of it, or it's not going to be confirmed and the loss, because we've gotten in back here, is usually not even a loss, or it is very small at that. And we're talking just a few ticks. So it's a very interesting template. Now, the template isn't made for something like this where we're trying to call a top in a strong trend. As I've said many times, you should not be trading against a strong trend, and that by definition is occurring somewhere in this area right here. So if you had initiated a short trade back here before we had this large lot buyer right here, and we would be getting into it right about there, 3102 and a quarter. And then you're given a green bar right here. It's only gone to 3103. That's 3 ticks. And then price actually starts to fall back. And the point of this is there will be individual training on this. There are some things to actually look out for. But let's just say, okay, you stayed with the trade. It went back to white and then to green right here. Again, the price is 102 and a quarter. So it's really interesting. Now, what it's made for is an instance like right here, where this is a strong trend reversal pattern right here at minor support. That trades good for over is good for 7.5 points. Trades into an exhaustion pattern. And at that exhaustion pattern, we're being given our short signal. Am I concerned that right here we're being given a few green bars? Yeah, I'm concerned. But what I have is I have a known exhaustion pattern right here. And if I do anything, all I'm going to do is just tighten my stop a little bit more. And then I'm also going to use my references that are giving me this signal to see what they are actually physically doing. We're not going to forget about that. Then again, you know, we have another trade here. That trade, there's our entry point right here, ends up being good for almost 7 points. Here's a counter trend trade right here. We're entering right there. Now, right here, we again and again here, we're given red bars. And coincidentally, they happen as price is shooting up. So on each one of them, we're probably going to be ignoring them. But what we would want to do is we would want to just tighten our stop. And again, you know, this trade also has something else going for it, because the blue line on the chart represents the mid. Now, this should also be used in conjunction with the KP2 ratio. Now, the KP2 ratio, as we get down to our apex low right there, that is telling us that the contract is under accumulation. And even as price moved on, the KP2 ratio got even higher, telling us that there was even more accumulation occurring through limit orders in this area right here. So again, a really good trade. We're not just going by a bloodhound red light, green light. We're still going to use our KP2 ratio, and we're going to use the actual signals that are generating this. But without having to look up from a chart and to see that the indicators are no longer painting all red, well, we know that that's a good area to get into a trade, and we're only looking at one chart. Again, if we were looking for a short trade and you're worried about the stop, well, we'd be getting into our trade somewhere around there at 6.25, and right there at 750, you're given a bloodhound buy signal. So if you exit at that point or in one of these bars right here, your loss is all of 4 ticks. So what bloodhound is doing is, based on the underlying logic, it's telling us pretty quickly if we should be in the trade from here or if we should be waiting and entering the trade here. And again, that would have been good for 5 or 6 points. Again, a really good trade. I could just find example after example. Here's a reversal pattern right here. We're going into the reversal pattern. You were just being given short signals the entire time. Now, what's also interesting about this is this can also give us an idea whether or not we want to stay with the trade based upon what is giving us this bloodhound signal. If we don't have anything transitioning to green and the underlying symbols are strong, well, that could be reason to stay in a trade and take it for more than 5 or 6 points. Again, a lot of examples I could go over. Here we have a trend trade. Again, this is the area coming out of the red where we would think about getting long, and we have a tremendous trade there. Again, another trend trade here. This would be the area we'd look to get long. Tremendous trade. Here's a second trade where we had accumulation, looking to get long from here. Another accumulation example. And anywhere in here, as bloodhound is getting conflicting signals, giving us at least one buy signal in here, and then the signal is confirmed right here, and again off to another 9-point trade. Now, I would prefer that this used be in conjunction with patterns, but we're not always going to have a pattern. And after we make the low here, you can see that we're now being given at least one buy signal. It's confirmed up here. Price trades back, same thing, and then we end up with a nice move. And again, the key here is that what is happening down here with the KP2 ratio is what we're expecting to see. Same thing happens up here. As price goes higher, the KP2 ratio goes higher, indicating limit order resistance. That's exactly what we want to see when we get to this high right here. Do we get our trade filled right away? No. It takes 15 minutes as price trades back and forth here. But what we're also looking at is we're also looking at this at the KP2 ratio at the same time, and we're seeing that it's responding with price, which is again exactly what we want to see. And after a 15-minute wait, we end up getting paid with a nice trade that's worth over 11 points. Coming out of that trade into at the counter trend area, again, the divergence in the signals we have right here, we have an opportunity to get long, and that takes us into a trend trade. You know, this right here is just a beautiful, easy trade, because as we get to our trend trade and price is still actually even trading at the zone, we're being given our bloodhound short signal. So all in all, just a really interesting bloodhound template I've come up with. and I will be sharing it sometime in the future, probably in about 2 weeks. So just wanted to give you a little idea of what I've been working on, and I'm going to be away all next week, so I could be able to continue any work on this and trade this actually next week. I expect to be able to trade it the following week. Thanks for watching. Everybody stay safe. Take care.